joining us. I'm here with Raquel Dills, one of our perfection healing coaches, and my name is Natalie Bruno, and we are here to talk about spiritual guidance and how it applies with the ABC perfection healing process. So, I'm going to ask Raquel a few questions, and we're just going to go back and forth. These are some typical questions we normally receive when people are starting off. And so we use the term spiritual guidance often. And so, Raquel, when you first started this work and you heard that term, what were your thoughts?
Well, when I first started, I wasn't really sure, but I knew what it meant to me, and so I just you were very gentle about it, so I appreciate that. And I just knew that there was this wisdom and intuitive nature that was inside of me to explore. And as far as my spiritual guidance, I knew that I could um, have this conversation, talk with someone, if you will, whether I, call it my wisdom or whether I call it God, or
Mm.
some people have different names and labels or
Yes, and speaking of labels, you guys will probably hear us use quite a few different terminology when we talk about our inner guidance or spiritual guidance. And I just wanted to preface that keep in mind that these are just words, and we all have our own perception on what word
yes,
definitions mean. And just like when Raquel was answering that question, she said to her spiritual guidance is source, I believe.
yes,
So, but here's the key: is that it's going to be different for everyone. Because we're all unique and beautifully made. We all have our own perception. We all have our own life experience. We all have
faith base.
yes, our own belief system,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And it's really about just harnessing your personal beliefs, because this again is self-healing. You don't need anyone outside of yourself to do
That's
this
correct.
work. You will find coaches on our website, and me and Raquel are on there as well. And that's really for just assistance. Sometimes I will call Raquel and she will walk me through some session work for myself because I feel too emotionally involved.
Yes,
And when you're getting your yes and your no's, that is where you're practically applying and tapping into that internal wisdom, that your belief system of your higher self, whatever that may be for you. And I've never seen this technique not work with anybody.
yes.
And I've done thousands of sessions.
Headaches,
Yeah,
emotional
yes.
grievances.
Yeah, so when you first started, what do you feel like was the most practical application for this work for you?
I had a lot of digestive issues going on, so I kind of wanted to get straight to the physical aspects of this
Okay.
for me. And that's the practical application that I wanted to go ahead and harness in on. And then I moved to a lot of, well, actually, it came up that it was more emotional things. So for me, I was ready
Mm-hmm.
to heal my body. I was ready to remove the blocks of love's presence. And that for me was a knowing that I
Mm-hmm.
know I could go to. And this tool that we use is very beneficial.
Yeah, your yes and no's are basically a way for us to tap into um, a loving intelligence, and that
Hmm.
lives and thrives within every single
Yes.
individual on the planet. Um, and that so this work is all inclusive. There's not like certain people that it works really great with and others that it rejects. I mean, it's very all inclusive, and the coolest part that I've experienced is that it's gentle. Just like Raquel said, it is a really gentle, loving process. You're never going to be met with getting a yes about a specific thing or a no about a question you have that you're not really ready to get. Actually, sometimes a really great question to ask is it in my highest interest to do nothing?
Right.
And
And sometimes it is because, you know, the the encouragement part of when you're ready to deal with something and reveal it to yourself, we have to do this process very gently. And when there's a readiness to that side, to
Mhm.
me anyway.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
I would just encourage you to try it. Like the more you do it, the more that you will find like that you're willing to let things go. And sometimes they're small and sometimes they're big and sometimes they're in that
it's
medium
true.
space.
Sometimes you know about them, and other times you have no clue
Hmm.
that you even picked that up, like picked up this negative emotion. And basically, I do want to talk to fear-based thought versus love-based thought, and this is where your yes and no's are absolutely dynamite. Like, I always say there's so many ways to heal. This is just one of millions, and it is a sharpshooter approach. I really like it because I've never seen it not be accurate. And I've seen tons of physical healings right in front of my eyes, and I would personally call them miracles. I
Hmm.
really do feel like a miracle is a change of thought, a change of
I
perception.
have gotten rid of headaches,
Yes,
backaches.
shoulder pain.
Yes, remember that?
Yep.
Yeah. You know, and when Natalie was talking earlier about when she would call me or I would call her to walk through sessions, you know, a lot of times it's more that you almost need that little camaraderie, that encourager to walk you through certain things. You can do this alone, you can do this with a coach, that you can do this in groups even, and it really kind of brings some bonding too.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
with
I think
yourself.
doing an emotional session is a very intimate thing.
Hmm.
From a space of you're just completely utterly vulnerable, and I say that vulnerability is wonderful because you're authentic, and we all have stuff that we can let go of. We all have fears that sometimes we don't even know are there, and
Yes.
so yeah, so I
Tran
really encourage you
to be
to,
transparent.
yes, yes, even if it's just transparent with yourself, that's
And sometimes
huge.
we don't even have to go into the over explanation of things. And we'll see that more in a little bit of a later video
Yeah.
um, of having to repeat everything about that situation or
So,
thing.
besides emotional sessions, where else do you use the checking in process?
Um, I mean, I have used it to ask if I should take a new course, if I should ask for help, or when I was frustrated with a conference call, is this my time to speak?
Hmm.
Is, you know,
Oh, that's
it's
a good
just
one at work.
right at work. Like a lot of us are dealing with silence
Mm,
um, and we think that we need to use our voice, and we may, but it may be a moment where you check in where maybe it says not now or absolutely now. This is the time to say what's on your mind. And you know, I always know like my angels give me my words to help me speak, and that's what the guidance, the spiritual guidance will help you with, because if you are, you have to trust that timing and what you're doing and what you're saying is,
oh, that's huge. That's a
you
good
know,
nugget. That's a good
yeah,
nugget.
that is
So,
right. That
yeah,
is
I
right.
mean, you can use that at the grocery store if
Yes,
you know,
you do.
and
I know you do that
I do
grocery
that all
store
the
life.
time. And so
Yeah.
it's really just asking yourself, is this in my highest interest? Whether it's going somewhere or talking to somebody or speaking up or buying food or clothes or online shopping. It's just a
It's
really great
everyday life.
source.
Yeah.
It
Just
is.
just like meditation, just like prayer, things like this is another tool for you to use that in a way it to me it zeroes in on what you have to do right away, what you feel may be on the shoulder on your back.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness, should I like even worry about this now? Not that we have to worry about
That's a
anything, you
good
know, but
question. Should I give this thought?
right.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Is this thought that I'm having should this even
Relevant.
right to the perception of what's going on or may not going on? So it really really does help you to recognize where you're walking in fear. or limited or feeling restricted. And that, I think, to me, with the restricted and limitation part, especially in the last 6 months, when I had to do a session on those, it helped me to boost my confidence and know that I wasn't in there, that it was just my stinking thinking.
Yes, yeah, just eager thought, fear-based thought, completely.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that happens to most people on a daily basis. We go fear-based thought really
Yes.
quickly. It's almost like a gut instinct. And and this is just a tool to help you begin to recognize that. So thank you so much for joining us. And if you have questions or need clarity on anything, please feel free to contact us at perfectionhealing.com.
Thank you.